Rivalry football at its finest, Chapter 2. We'll give both parties a pass on the last one, sort of. So you have the rested number 1 seeded Eagles.
We want to come out here and dominate. All for one and one for all. Let's go do this.
Taking on every Philly fan's most beloved team outside Texas, the New York Football Giants, showing they can lose to a team once on the road, go back and beat them the second time around. Relevant, right?
4th and 8, game on the line. Cousins, Hawkinson, he is not gonna get there, and the Giants will take over.
For the record, yes, Philadelphia swept New York this season. Week 18 game was Jalen Hurts. Let me just shake off the rust game against a Giants squad playing a lot of backups. Week 14, 48-22 Eagles drubbing, or is it the other way around? Either way, fly Eagles fly, blew the blue out.
4th and 7, Hurts lofts it for Smith. It's a touchdown, Devontae Smith.
We accept some Eagles faithful will simply point to that game in response to anything that insinuates they might not roll again. Fair enough.
Jalen Hurts has been locked in so far. Wants it all and has Brown. One play to get in the end zone.
But since then, things have changed for both teams. Hurts had a rough game against the Bears the next week. Then he got hurt out till that Week 18 game, and he wasn't all that good in it. No touchdowns, an interception, a rating of 65.1.
Hurts throws, intercepted in the end zone.
So it's been a while since we've seen him shine, and the Giants are not the same team the Eagles trucked last month. At the very least, the gap has been closed or shortened or shrunk.
Hey, I put him on his ass up. I dropped buddy. Sat his ass down.
Different feel and vibe to the G-men coming into this game, and they have at least some of the ingredients needed to beat Philadelphia. First key matchup, New York Giants rush attack, Philadelphia's run defense. Eagles rush D, we've mentioned it a couple times. It's their one defensive flaw. It's their exhaust port. Gave up 4.4 yards per carry to running backs. That was tied for 16th this season. That's where Saquon Barkley comes in. 1,300 plus rushing yards in 2022. Scores twice in the wild card win. Only ran 9 times, but 5.9 yards per carry.
Great cut, Saquon Barkley in for the touchdown.
Then you look at this. Eagles, 6.5 yards per carry allowed to quarterbacks. Only one team worse in 2022. Daniel Jones over 700 yards rushing, 7 TDs. He was lead runner in their win over Minnesota, 17 attempts, 78 yards.
Jones takes off and runs, first down and then some, and Daniel Jones out to the 40.
Eagles only lost with Hurts, I'm repeating myself, to Washington. Commanders bled the clock with the run game. But the Eagles handled the Giants' run game in that lopsided win, so New York wasn't able to pull off that recipe the first time.
Brandon Graham swallows him in the backfield here.
The difference New York hopes, Philadelphia didn't have to worry much about New York's passing attack. They will this week if Jones and his pass catchers play as well as they did last week, and Jones has time.
It all starts with the protection up front.
Jones loads up over the middle. Good throw in catch and a first down. There is Darius Slayton.
Jones went 24 of 35, 301 yards, 8.6 yards per attempt, a rating near 115, 2 touchdowns, no picks. How's that for a playoff debut?
Jones has a man wide open. It's caught by Bellinger for the touchdown.
Jones has had good games passing the ball 3 straight outings now. Versus the Colts, he had to deal with a couple good pass rushers. Versus the Vikings, bad secondary, but couple good pass rushers.
Blitz coming. It's picked up. Jones lofting over the middle of Slayton. Slayton's got a first down.
Sets up another huge matchup that New York is underdog in. Jones lines up in front of another defense with a couple good pass rushers. How New York's line handles them will dictate if New York's improved passing attack is going to keep on keeping on. Fletcher Cox, 7 sacks from the DT spot. His mate, Javon Hargrave, 11. So 18 from the inside. There's a couple.
Still able to get there, and Hargrave belts him.
Oh, Josh Sweat, 11 sacks, so a few.
Pressure again, Prescott in trouble, and down he goes! Back-to-back sacks, and this time it's Josh Sweat.
Brandon Graham, 11 sacks, so what's that? How many is that? Many?
Tannehill pressured, in trouble, and he's sacked again, number 5 on the the day for Philadelphia, and it's Brandon Graham.
Oh yeah, and then there's Hassan Reddick, 16, so now we're to a plethora.
You see Hassan Reddick, he comes and just beats Tyron Smith around the edge.
That's Reddick who got the strip sack. He's so good at that.
No team was even close in QB takedowns. Pressure rate second highest. Their front dictates.
Huge! That's huge!
Oh, and Robert Quinn is back from injury, so what? That's a six-pack? Which they enjoyed versus New York and won. 7 sacks in the Hammer victory. Rookie Evan Neal was PFF's 71st rated tackle this season, out of 72. Jones, a frequent viewer of Soul Plane, facing the grass 44 times, the team allowed 49 sacks, pressure rate allowed 35.
Jones under pressure, and he goes down.
If the Giants line can play better this time through, Darius Slayton, Richie James, Isaiah Hodgins could all help move the ball. They've been much more productive as of late. They have to escape a trio of cornerbacks that are not easy to get away from, though. Darius Slay, James Bradbury, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Eagles, 4th in INTs, tied for 3rd lowest yards per attempt, held QBs to the 3rd lowest rating.
This one deep shot. It's McLaurin, and it's an interception by C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Hodgins has emerged as the Giants' #1 TD last week. That's 1 in 5 of his last 6 games. He also had 105 yards versus Minnesota on 8 catches.
Jones going into caught for the touchdown. It's Isaiah Hodgins.
To keep his roll rolling, he'll have to get open against Slay or Bradbury. Slay had a good year, Bradbury had a great year. 2nd team All-Pro, held QBs to a sub-60 rating.
Gonna throw far side, knocked away. There's James Bradbury. He's been a terrific addition. When the Giants let him go, they snatched him up, and he's been great.
Richie James was quiet in the wild card game. Slayton had 4 catches, 88 yards. It could easily be the other way around, too.
Jones again over the middle, caught, touchdown. Richie James is in for the score.
Ring a bell for another big matchup, Eagles defense versus Barkley, the pass catcher. Barkley over 50 receptions on the year, always a threat with the ball, which is why they make sure to pass it to him a lot. 6 targets last week, 5 catches, 56 yards.
Jones gets rid of it. Barkley's wide open. First down and more. Sprinting into Vikings territory.
Eagles versus running backs in the passing game, a 95.2 rating allowed. Backs far and away the position they had struggles with the most in the passing game.
Pressure coming. Fields whips it outside to Montgomery. His 2nd touchdown.
So if New York can find a way to scratch out some points, what are the chances the Giants defense can rein in Philly's offense? There's that still. Not many offenses like Philly's. 3rd most points per game, 4th best on 3rd down, 3rd in the red zone.
Hey, they can't stop us.
Their passing attack is loaded, but remember, they were 23rd in pass attempts, 3rd in rush attempts. Their ground game harder to stop than that lady recording her kid, the guy who leads the way for their rush attack, Miles Sanders.
I got 8 touchdowns, man.
Sanders, 1,269 yards, 11 touchdowns, almost 5 yards per carry. That phone lady is the best, by the way. Sanders singing along with her, "Get out of my way, get out of my way."
Another carry for Sanders, and this one breaks loose. He's headed for the end zone. Touchdown.
Giants pretty bad versus running backs in 2022, but they held their own versus Dalvin Cook, 4 yards per carry, 60 yards. They'd take anything close to that versus Sanders.
And now Cook is taken down, but Lawrence making another play.
Miles is like 40% of the challenge. Combined, Boston Scott, Kenneth Gainwell over 450 yards, each 4 yards per carry or better, 7 touchdowns. And like New York's rush attack, Philly's also features a pretty good running quarterback.
Pressure coming out of the secondary. Hurts hard and took off. End zone ahead. Touchdown. He straight up sliced them.
Jalen Hurts, 760 yards. Paint connoisseur, 13 touchdowns. Giants didn't handle Hurts well as a runner. Same is true of Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson. New York, 5.5 yards per carry allowed to quarterbacks. That's too much, man. Rest in peace, Sarah L.
Jackson's got a running lane. Oh, abracadabra move by Jackson. for a first down.
Eagles have a bit of a habit attacking teams' weaknesses, so that's one to really watch for, especially early. Hurts the passer, modest TD total due to their run game. It's his 246 yards per game, picked up on 8 yards per attempt, 12.1 yards per completion, and 101.5 rate that matters.
Wanna do it, hey!
Giants secondary has one of the best wideout duos to contend with. A.J. Brown, just under 1,500 yards, 11 scores.
AJ, aren't you glad you played in Philadelphia? Yeah, Philly, baby, let's get it. We love you.
Devontae Smith, just under 1,200 yards, 7 TDs.
Hey, let's keep this thing going, man. Let's keep this thing going.
Quez Watkins will pop up on the outside as well in some big moments. New York got good play from its corners in 2022, and those dudes come in off a good outing. Last week, they held Justin Jefferson to 47 yards. Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, a combined 70 yards.
Loading up, going deep, and it's incomplete. Excellent coverage down there by Xavier McKinney. He was all over Jefferson.
Giants play versus tight ends, another matter. 115 rate allowed for the year. Last week gave up 10 catches, 129 yards to TJ Hawkinson.
Cousins some pressure. The middle. Hawkinson wide open again.
So don't be shocked if Dallas Goedert has a big game. Over 700 yards in 12 games this season, 7 games with 60-plus yards.
Has Goddard wide open. Great grab by Goddard, who held on. Oh, Dallas Goedert went up for a jump ball and came down with it.
Hurts takes sacks. It comes with the territory. It's more, can New York's pass rush pressure him and force him into mistakes? Hurts only faced pressure on 22.9% of his pass attempts.
Hurts goes deep. Smith over the shoulder makes the play.
Giants are in love with the ballroom blitz 44% of the time this year. Didn't take Cousins down once, though. Hit him 11 times. Pressure is a given.
Pressure again, running for his life. Floats it, incomplete.
Will they blitz Hurts as often, though? He can take off with those legs. All right, if the game is up to a kicker, Philadelphia has one of the best. Jake Elliott, 20 of 23 this season, 5 of 6 from beyond the arc, long of 56. Graham Gano, 4 for 4 on extra points last week, 1 for 1 on his field goal attempts. Great year as well, his long 57. 2008 divisional round, 23-11, McNabb over Eli. Sloppy game, 2 touchdowns, a safety, and a mess of field goals.
Fake the handoff, the flip for Selleck, and a touchdown for Philadelphia.
2006 wild card round, much better game. Jeff Garcia for Philly. Eli drove to tie the game with 5 minutes to play. Garcia takes him down, walk-off field goal for the win.
Puts it up and Akers drills it. The Eagles have defeated the Giants.
Last time G-Men beat Philly in a playoff game, 2000. This is a playoff rubber match, 2 for 2 between these two right now. Who takes the lead? You guys take it from here. Make the comments section as hostile as it will be in the link. With a score, please.